WWE WrestleMania 40, 3 horrible booking decisions from night 2. Yes, WrestleMania 40 from Philadelphia. It is officially in the books. Night 2, in my opinion, was better than night 1. Check out the main channel for all of the WrestleMania coverage, including the recap from night 1. So, WrestleMania, WWE's biggest event of the year. And I'll be honest, when I was looking at night 2 on paper, it looked better than night 1. It turned out to be better than night 1. It was a faster paced show. It had, honestly, better wrestling, right? If you look WrestleMania night 1 and night 2, they had 2 things in common. One, they opened with bangers and they closed with newsworthy moments, right? You had night 1, it was Becky Lynch falling short to Rhea Ripley in their women's title match. You had a closing with The Rock and Roman Reigns beating Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Night 2, you had Drew McIntyre challenging Seth Rollins for the world title. That was newsworthy. We had the cash-in from Damian Priest. We had the involvement of CM Punk, and it closed with Cody Rhodes finally finishing his freaking story, right? So when it comes to horrible booking decisions, we got to start out at number 3 and where we left off. Cody Rhodes challenging Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, who had been the Universal Champion since the pandemic era. Think about that, y'all. In the summer of 2020, he returned from hiatus. He turned heel. He aligned with Paul Heyman, and he became the Universal Champion. He beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship, WrestleMania 38 in 2022, right? Here's the problem I had with this match. It wasn't the overbooking. It wasn't the outside interference from Jay and Jimmy and Solo and Rock and Cena and Taker. It was not that. It was the finisher spamming, okay? And I get it. People are like, well, they do that in every match. It's like, no. There was a really, really bad, redundant reliance on this, where instead of just doing a near fall, they started not only, in a lot of matches, and we saw this in the Drew McIntyre-Seth Rollins match, where there's one thing to just spam finishers to do near falls and signature moves to do near falls, and then it's a completely different thing when you start combining them, right? Like, at one point, I think Roman hit the Superman punch into a spear, and that didn't do it. Then they did Solo Sikoa with a spike and then a spear, right? Like, just insane things. That was overbooked for me. I did not like that aspect of the match. The outside interference, you knew that going into the match. You knew there was going to be outside interference. You knew the bloodline was going to come in. You knew someone was going to make the save for Rhodes. We had a feeling that Cena would be at least there. And once main event time rolled around and you had almost 2 nights of no Super Cena, you knew he's probably going to get involved to make the save. I have no idea why Seth Rollins did so little. I thought that was very odd, and I noticed this at the end of the match where it was like he came out with the Shield music and the Shield attire. He got flatlined right away. And then he was nowhere to be seen after that. And I noticed in the post-match celebration with Rhodes, where everybody was in the ring, Rollins was either doing an incredible sell job or he was a little banged up because he had to be helped into the ring. I thought that was very interesting. But it was in the very background of the shot, so not a lot of people picked up on that. Number 2 was not making AJ Styles versus LA Knight a street fight or a hardcore match or a no DQ match. Or anything like that. And I understand people are going to be like, well, we had this street fight. We had the Philadelphia street fight between AOP with Karrion Kross against the Pride. And it's like, yeah. And that was a bad mistake on Triple H's part. You should have flipped these, right? The 6-man tag, they have tried to get that feud over. And I like Karrion Kross, and I like Lashley's pairing with the Street Profits. But I could never get invested into that feud. I think Karrion Kross is a little overrated with his in-ring work, but his promo work is exceptional. Although he looks like he's having a midlife crisis with his look, I will give him that. The reason that I think AJ Styles versus LA Knight should have been a street fight, though, is because they brought in so much real aspects, right? Whether it would be LA Knight showing up at AJ Styles' home and then brawling in AJ Styles' front lawn to someone was doing a media scrum or an appearance on Friday afternoon, and I think it was LA Knight that attacked AJ, right? And F-bombs were dropped and certain names were called, right? And AJ had a bloody nose. Everything was real or really reality based in this feud. And so for them just to go out there and just do a random singles match where they couldn't really test the rules and really get that violent side out, I thought that was a missed opportunity at WrestleMania. Now, I understand that there is this other side of things where it's like, well, okay, yes, you do the singles match despite the build, but you can do the street fight, you can do the hardcore match, you can do the no DQ match, you can do whatever kind of gimmick stipulation name in which you want at Backlash France on May 4th, I believe, about a month. So yes, you could do that, but when you have such a great build, for it to just be a singles match, it's going to be flat no matter what your post-booking plans are. I just thought that was a major miss by them. And at number one, my biggest takeaway from this show in terms of a mistake from a booking standpoint was the Triple Threat United States Championship match, where it was Logan Paul defending the championship against Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. This match had a fun build. I absolutely loved the entrance where Kevin Owens, he came out on a golf cart and he drove all the way down to the ring, and Orton's music came out, and so he put it in reverse and he went all the way up to the stage, and Orton stood on this platform and he had like this handle in front of him, and Owens just ripped it. I mean, if golf carts could produce tire smoke, this thing would have done a burnout, to the point where Orton was yelling at him to slow down, because it's like, if Owens either swerves a little bit, he's going to go flying into the crowd. Or if Owens hits the brakes too sharply, Randy is going flying forward. So he's like, you need to slow down. The reason that I did not, I